Yo, what is up guys, Ghost here, and today I've got some new information on an unreleased map for Battlefield 2042 called Exposure. You guys will have probably heard me mention this one before, and honestly I wasn't planning to make a video today at all, but Temporal has just dropped some very interesting things here. So far all we've really known about the map is that it is indeed called Exposure. The working name for it I believe is Ridge, so that's the name for the map that he's found within the game files, and other than that all he'd really found is a bit of concept art. But just today he's been busy digging through patch 4.0 and he's found a bunch of interesting assets like models, effects and sounds that are connected to the Exposure map. So here he says some of the things he's found are falling rocks, busted pipes, a metal detector interestingly, flickering lights and spark effects. So he did mention before that one of the main Levolution events, if you will, is a Rockslide of some description. If you actually look at the concept art for the map here that has been found in the game file some time ago, you can see we've got this large valley, this gorge here with a lake lying at the bottom, and then even higher above that on the left there we've got mountains, and even further in the distance more mountains there. And of course in the sort of centre just to the right you've got that large facility with what looks like a village nearby. So definitely the kind of area that could have some sort of a rock slide, but what really ties this in are these two unreleased player cards that he found here. So on the left one there you can see a lot of the things he was talking about. It seems to be some sort of a tunnel. There's a road on the ground there, so this is a tunnel you would drive through, and as he mentioned there are busted pipes. There's what looks like could be a ventilation pipe or a gas pipe or something that's broken off there. Obviously the tunnel has been completely ruptured in two, perhaps by a landslide, and then you've got sparks flying everywhere. Then on the right we've got what looks like a couple of AI soldiers or those kind of skins, and then on the wall it says no idling, turn engine off. So I would guess that that is some sort of a vehicle bay of some description. So falling rocks, busted pipes, flickering lights, spark effects, that all plays into the Levolution rumours for this map. The metal detector, honestly, I'm kind of clueless on that one. Let me know down below if you guys have any idea with what that's going to entail. Perhaps it's one of the smaller Levolution events, like, you know, you drive a tank through a certain area, the metal detector detects you, and then alarms go off. Who knows? Now, the other interesting thing he found is the new background elements in the Battlefield 2042 loading screen seem to be connected to Ridge, or indeed Exposure, as it's apparently going to be called. I think it was Lossy in a recent video, he pointed out that the loading screen in Battlefield 2042 actually changed when they brought in, I think it was patch 4.0, and he said perhaps these mountains are something to do with the next map, and it indeed seems that Temporal agrees with him, and he says that patch 4.0 includes backdrops featuring these mountains in a folder called Ridge. There's also a complete texture showing mountain base and surroundings similar to the artwork. Now these markings I think are just markings that Temporal has added himself here, but this is an example. You know, perhaps you're going to see a landslide from what looks like those snowy areas in the centre. Just below that to the left is where the facility would be, he thinks, and then down there you've also got a lake. But if you go and compare this to the concept art, it really does look similar. You've got these yellow trees around the area that you can also see on the map, and then of course you've got a lake down at the bottom of that gorge, and if you look at the, you know, where the facility is and where the lake is, those things match up both on the concept art and in this sort of flat layout of the map. Temporal speculation on this is that maybe this is just a first step and we'll be getting a more detailed backdrop like the one with the actual base and maybe some smoke and stuff with another update as we move closer to the shoreline. Because I think that's sort of what it's supposed to be like. You know, we are on the Exodus, the no-patch ship, and we're sailing closer towards another part of the world. And as we get closer with more patches and whatnot, perhaps we'll start to see different backdrops behind the ship, and that's how they're going to drop us little Easter eggs and little hints as to what could be coming. It looks like this map is definitely coming along. It is almost guaranteed to be the Season 1 map. The fact that he's only found any information for one single map, though, is a little bit alarming. That sort of says to me that, you know, we're only going to get one map with Season 1. Sure, they're going to rework the other maps and maybe make some changes to them, but when you consider that in past Battlefield games we would get an entire expansion that included no less than 4 maps, well, getting one isn't really anything to shout about. Of course, it could just be that they've only started to put assets for a certain map into the game files and the other one is still underway. Who knows? Let me know down below what your speculation is on this, guys, as well. What do you think that metal detector is going to be used for? And what do you reckon to the new sort of weather levolution event, the landslide? I guess that's sort of going to come instead of the tornado on this map. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for more Battlefield, and I'll see you in the next one.